Wishing you a good day. I'm Sayuri Perera. This is my simulation for the systems modeling and simulation course module. Um, and my research is based on crowdfunding and adoption of it by Sri Lankan entrepreneurs. So, crowdfunding is a practice of funding a project or venture by raising small amount of money from a large number of people over the internet. uh, and I'm explaining the behavioral intention of entrepreneurs by using a technology acceptance model, which is the Utah model, the unified theory of acceptance and use of technology model. This model has four variables. However, in this simulation, I would be only considering two of the variables, which are social influence and facilitating conditions. Social influence is the degree to which an individual perceives others who believe they should be using the new system, and facilitating conditions are defined as the degree to which an individual believes that an organizational and technical infrastructure exists to support the use of the system. Uh, in this simulation, you can set all these variables initially, which is the number of people, which could go from 0 to 100. This includes all the people like general people as well as entrepreneurs, and then you can set the number of entrepreneurs, and again you can set the possible entrepreneurs, which means there could be people who are in like general people who have the like who could be entrepreneurs in the future. So this number gives that maximum number of possible entrepreneurs. And then again you can set the crowdfunding platforms, number of them, which would be indicated in these green patches in the world. Again you can set the number of aware people, which means these people are aware about crowdfunding platforms and how they work. um, and they have a social influence value which is greater than 5, and they are indicated in these red people. So you can see there are 5 people who are aware about crowdfunding platforms as at now. And you can set the aware transmission and unaware transmission, which means that explains when these people interact with each other and meet people and they communicate. The aware transmission, which means that they meet a person who is aware, the social influence would be incremented by this amount. And if they meet a person who are non-aware about crowdfunding platforms, it would be incremented by this amount. So it is advised to set the aware transmission greater than unaware transmission. So moving on, after you set all these constructs, you can see general people in white and aware people in red, and there could be entrepreneurs. It's not indicated in color coded uh, when you set it up. So okay, you can also give a maximum number of ticks as well if you want to stop it at a certain number of ticks, but I'm just keeping it at 10,000 because I want it to go on. If you want to go only once, one iteration, you can click here. Otherwise you can click this for it to go on. So as you can see, these people are interacting and the number of people who are aware about are increasing, and these graphs actually graphically represent it. Okay. So as you can see in this graph, the black line indicates general people and the red line indicates the people who are aware about crowdfunding platforms but have not been using crowdfunding platforms. It's been increasing, and the green line shows the number of people who have used crowdfunding platforms, which is increasing as of now. And you can see as of now 6 people have used crowdfunding, and the number of crowdfunding platforms have increased to 8. We have set it to 4. The reason as to which is these crowdfunding platforms has a attribute called facilitators, which would be incremented whenever an entrepreneur uses the service. So that means these crowdfunding platforms has been used by entrepreneurs, and they have this facilitator level which is greater than 10. Then they have the ability of creating another crowdfunding platform. So that's why the number of crowdfunding platforms have been doubled. So you can see it's now 8 in this graph. Initially it was 4. So the time taken for the first crowdfunding user is 13 ticks, and time taken for the first possible entrepreneurs is 547 ticks. So let's move on and see what happens. So the number of people who are aware about crowdfunding platforms have been increased, but they have not used it. Uh, the number of people who have number of entrepreneurs who have used crowdfunding platforms are increasing as well. Okay, let's see, and you can see the red line decreases, which means all the people who are aware about it now are using crowdfunding, and the green line is again stable as well. So I think everything is being stabilized right now. The general people have decreased because from the general people, the possible entrepreneurs have become entrepreneurs and have used crowdfunding platforms. And the red line, which indicate people who are aware about it, has increased initially because the awareness increased, and then decreased because they not that because they are not aware, because they are aware and they have used the crowdfunding platform services. Uh, so as you can see, the number of people who have used is 25, and you can see the entrepreneurs we have set was 20, and the possible entrepreneurs is 25. So the addition of these two should be equal to the number of people who have used crowdfunding, 25, and there are 8 crowdfunding platforms now, and uh, 13 ticks taken for the first crowdfunding user. So you can set these aware transmission and non-aware transmission, and like uh, get an insight how much time it takes. So if we decrease the aware transmission, uh, so now it's 13 ticks. Let's see how much ticks it takes if we reduce the transmission. Okay, takes 89, which means it takes more time if the awareness transmission rate is reduced. So from this you can get an insight about how the social influence and facilitating conditions work. I have written information about it and assumptions as well, and also the code. This is the code I have used. Yes, hope you got an idea how this works, and thank you very much.